Welcome to another edition of Cool Grooves Online. This week we meet up with Tom Braxton, who's an extraordinary saxophone player from Texas. We caught up with Tom on the smooth jazz cruise through the Caribbean. The first thing we asked him was to share his most memorable experience as a musician.
Actually, the first day Cos cruise I did, I think it was 2006, I just came on the cruise to play with Wayman Tisdale, just as his music director and everything. But they had All-Star Night, and Dave Cos is so gracious. He put me on stage with everybody else, and I'll never forget, I still have pictures of it. There were about 14, 15 artists all out there together playing at the same time. Wayman, Jeffrey Osborne, me, Patty Austin, Jonathan Butler. It was amazing, and I just remember going, it doesn't get any better than this. These are people that I've wanted to play with forever, and we're all out here jamming on Ain't No Stopping Us Now with Wayman. You know, so that really stands out as a watermark, that the first time we got to do that.
Following that, we asked Tom Braxton about his worst experience.
We were laughing about some of these backstage. I think every musician has done the proverbial gig where you drive up and everything just goes wrong. But I do remember, it's an interesting sound. They're about to do a sound check behind us for Boney James.
Sounds like Jabba the Hutt.
Looks like they're doing a check for some monitors or something. But I remember we played in this place, and an agent had booked it in Houston, and I walked up. This was in college, a young guy. And going down the wall, this was a bad neighborhood, it said no cussing, no fighting, no stabbing, no guns, no switchblades. And I went, oh my goodness, what kind of place is this? And when we got in there, he said, well, here's the stage over here. And it looked like a boxing ring. And there was a set of drums on the stage that was held together by bungee cords, and the throne was a suitcase. And I immediately got on the phone and told all my friends, I invited you tonight, do not come.
Tom Braxton, as we know, was Wayman Tisdale's musical director. We asked him how that came about.
I've worked with Wayman for about 15 years. Bernard Wright, who's a keyboardist from New York that actually grew up with Marcus Miller, worked with me on a project, and then he ended up working with Wayman. And so Wayman was looking for a sax, and I knew about Wayman, but I'd never met him. And Bernard knew that he was looking for a saxophonist, and he was living in the Sacramento area, and he said, I know a guy back in Texas. So I flew out, played with them, and I was with him off and on for about 15, 16 years. I started as a sax player and became the musical director, and it was a wonderful experience. That's the reason I'm on the cruise right now, is because of Wayman. Because I came on originally just to play with him, and it evolved into what I'm doing now. A lot of live music where I grew up as far as concerts, but I did get to hear, I burned up my turntable. I listened to the old jazz, I listened to Grover Washington, and as I said, Jean-Luc Ponty, and David Sanborn. Now, it's amazing to be talking to this guy backstage. I listened to his records forever. David Sanborn and Michael Brecker, and of course the new, guys like Kirk Whalum and all these guys. Everybody influences each other. It's like you have your own soup and everybody seasons it. And they put a little of their, and so no one's an island. You get ideas from other people, and then you speak your own language.
On his Imagine This CD, Tom Braxton did a cover of Steely Dan's Peg. We asked him what inspired that.
They are the quintessential group as far as being original, being true to themselves, writing great music that relates as far as being very popular. And they wrote chart-topping music, but it was very creative. And that's hard to do.
Accessible.
Yes, and accessible. So we may not know what all the lyrics were about, but it was great material. And so I'd always wanted to do that song, but I don't like to do a song unless I can try to do it justice. So we just added a little shuffle feel to it, and I actually didn't touch the chords at all. It's the original chords, but we just changed the feel of it a little bit, and People love it. As soon as we do the ba ba da ba ba da dee da, people, I don't even have to say the title of it. And
He shared with us his affinity for New York City.
Say this: I love New York City. I really do. I mean, my wife and I, well, we even drove from Texas just to see the Thanksgiving Day parade with the kids. So we had loved it. Yes, wonderful. That was 2 years ago. But I was in New York with Keiko Matsui, who's a pianist from Tokyo, and we played B.B. King's place in Times Square. Wow. You know, the thing I loved about it was we just finished setting up, and the guy said, you all need to clear the stage and kind of move. We're about to open the doors. I'm like, why do we have to move out of the way? Literally, when they opened the doors, people were running to get the seats. That's how enthusiastic they are about music in New York City. And they listened. We did 2 shows in there, and I mean, you could hear pin drop. I was so impressed. And every time I've played New York, it's been very favorable. I did a cruise with Wayman around the harbor years ago when CD 101 was doing those. Great. So I'd love to come back to New York and play again. It's a fantastic place. I think we did Bayshore, New York with Keiko and a couple other places, but nothing like the city.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Cool Grooves Online. The next time we see Tom Braxton, we hope it's in New York City. Until next time, good listening.